You are listening to the Wrestling is Theaters podcast. Support Wrestling is Theaters podcast at Patreon and at Google Podcasts. You can subscribe and listen to it any moment. The advertisement for this podcast ends right now.
Welcome, everybody, to the new era of professional wrestling. Welcome to the Renaissance. We finally can call it the Renaissance of professional wrestling. All right, let's welcome to the Renaissance of professional wrestling. To new era. That's the WWE. That's finally the new era of WWE. Before we really get into the Wrestling Sisters podcast, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, it's available to listen to Go on Google Podcasts and available to listen to Go on Spotify, latestly Apple, and which was compressed. Did we get it? Maybe we did. Apple Podcasts, and also it's on YouTube. Some episodes will be available on Patreon. It's not a real clutchable thing to talk about, but I'm gonna say more. Let's just get into eras here, right? We're gonna discuss the first topic of Wrestling News podcast. If you get near out here, to start of the YouTube channel, if you want to do, it's up to you. Here at Wrestling News podcast, we're gonna start not professional so much stuff in the skirt. You should know, because every wrestling fan of knowledge knows why it is Wrestling is Tears podcast. I have to do that, but that is probably going to be intro to Wrestling is Tears, why it's not, and why the Wrestling is Tears. But that's something else for another time. Let's get into eras, man. So we have had the Ruthless. So You've had the golden era of professional wrestling. Before that, we had, the bygones of Bruno Sammartino's era. We're talking all the WWE with it, right? Then we had, the golden era with Hogan, the new generation era. Then we had the Attitude Era. And at that time, it got wrestling better. And Attitude Era, people say, is the peak era, because a lot of people at that time just watched pro wrestling. It was on cable, and cable network and TV was like really big at that time. And everybody, the Attitude Era, for example, just got over because everybody wanted to see their boss get beat up. Because Stone Cold was a hit king at that time, so everybody wanted to see Stone Cold beat the shit out of the McMahons or whatever the hell. So the Attitude Era got over because of that, and Stone Cold himself got over. So that was a type of rebelliousness, man. Like, you wanted to attack their boss. You wanted, but it felt good that somebody is attacking their boss. Even though you would know it's fake or not, it's scripted or not, that's, scripted. It's real fate. Separate is he actually attacking his wife? Because not that the people at that time knew is pro wrestling fake. Not that many people at that time should say that. Like, not everybody knew is pro wrestling fake. People took it to heart at that time, for example. It was that people did take it to heart. And for wrestling, man, has had its ups and downs. There is mostly downs, it's been going down since with the Discretion Era, which was something that was downward to the Attitude Era in terms of promo styles and stuff. In terms of wrestling was really big into the Discretion Era. With this Aggression Era was a pro wrestling in time. It's real wrestling, and if you love pro wrestling, the aspect of proper wrestling. Great wrestling matches, though the best wrestling matches of all time are from the Celestial Era. I don't know how the Meltzer I'll give any of them 5 stars, because there's so many wrestling matches from the Ruthless Aggression Era that's one of the best wrestling matches of all time. So you can say possible. They are. That's the truth. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels. following people have said that's not what. We're not going to discuss that, but anyway, Wrestling Listeners Podcast. Eras and Meltzer's ratings is a different thing, but we're just talking about eras. We're just discussing eras, right? We're discussing eras here to think about bygone eras, right? Bygone eras from the Duno to Golden to the New Generation to the Attitude Era in the Reason for Shot. So the problem with era is when the Reinforced Aggression era is like the eras just kept getting down. The eras just started to suck. Eras, at that point were not the focus. Really, so it was getting down. So we had the Ruthless, then we went to the PG one, which was for 28 to the 2011. I think the PG era was the change of CM Punk. Yeah, Punk was the person like the catalyst change PG era. He ended the PG era, taking out the bullshit, that corny ass, whatever that crap bullshit they were trying to put out, and the Raw guest host show. Like the PG era gotta be one of the worst eras in the WWE. Absolutely sucks. The PG era has the worst WrestleMania of all time. How do you get at that? So, yeah, I think the PG era, in terms of how the product went really bad in those years, has to be one of the worst times for us again. 2010 in general is such a fucking loss of the year. I think the Ring of Honor is greater. Anyways, we're going to say Ring of Honor or TNA. Well, TNA wasn't have radio because, but they pumped the rating from 2 million viewers, or supplying towards the 2 million viewers. I think TNA did around. We're not here to discuss what TNA did. We're here to discuss what WWE did. And WWE did what for them in terms of skyrocketing in terms of money and business. They skyrocketed after, and if you don't know what the era of, it was the Swiss era and the future started really was Benoit and with them with Man Senate, and we don't get into that. Everybody knows probably did a set out. I'm not ready to explain that, but so for the fun, as a Punk really brought the catalyst of the reality era, where you had the reality, like these are stars, the reality stars, it could be the ill stars, and these guys stars could be like real, like these are still out. And the reality era was a cool era. I think the reality era to me was a good era. At the WWE, still it was a good product. I just something like Monday Raw where it was putting on. They had the Shield in that. You had Bryan, you had CM Punk, you had Dwayne The Rock Johnson and John Cena in that. As I'm saying, it was a great era. With AG Elite, catalyst, being the catalyst of, changing the way that women are, AG Elite was the catalyst of changing the way women should be treated in WWE. She was the person who, cut that promo and, changed, quite brought in the change. And she was the rebellious Steve agent. So, and people organically got into her fucking character, and it was pretty fine to know her damn character and stuff, but that's how pro wrestling is, honestly. So reality era, we're gonna talk about is what, but then, man, after the reality era, I think that's where we had the 2015 period, and that's where we're gonna like, we don't call it means like Steen era, but just period, very Steen one of the W's worst years ever. And so then we got into the new era. I think it was 2015 where the catalyst put it, and they started finding the new era, right? The new era, and in the new era, that's where pro wrestling started to really suck. And like, they had the audacity that Roman is their pedestal big face, and it didn't work. It was Roman was really, pushed people away that Roman's gonna need to die. People said he's got to die. And WWE, as a point I'm just saying, with eras slowly started to, go to a downward spiral. This is a hot take here. I like the reality era more than, it might be easier to talk what we're dead about eras again. I think the reality era to me, the 2011 to 2014 era is more hotter and more fucking good. People had more nostalgia for 2011 than, a realistic happened to that. I believe as like just my, I think 20, if I, in person who else has more connection to that era, that's the situation I would feel. But 2011 2014 is a fucking good era. Great era. Alright, so we off with this shit. I think it's catalyst to say that she could take a bat, really could think of that because, come on, like it had to build your top stars. And if I was saying, Zelman work for the UR, right? So they went for AJ Styles. AJ Styles was cool. He was the face of the new era, and he was that face that brought the new era to the WWE. And it didn't work quite much, and slowly, and I think people just started to care. Jinder Mahal, whether he became champion, 2017, 19, dark days, so that as we call it, the rise of the Willie Gritch. It brought a Ring of Honor, and everything that we've already talked about here at STW, and his Ring of Honor was catalyst of pro wrestling that brought AEW and that's something. But fun around, mate. WWE from every aspect just sucked. He went in downward spiral, really. Let's think about it, and that really was a thing in the new era. 2016 was a great year, but after 2016, it just was like. It didn't feel that hot. It was 2016 was this such a hot period of pro wrestling that it just felt so hot at that point. But then it started to feel downward square, and this kept on going. And oh my god, we didn't get it. But yeah. So at a point, that all of a sudden pandemic happens, right? Father O'Meara happens, and then Nick Khan takes over, right? I think Cam and Troy Sherman, right? And he takes over or something. And slowly, he already kind of wins and whatever. And Connor, but if he make Khan, he takes over finally. And Nick Khan, Nick Khan really, starts to get into what he's gonna, develop. And they move SummerSlam in the middle of the pay-per-views to Saturday nights. Slowly, they kind of coming in 2020 and change with stuff. All of a sudden, WWE Network is not going to be distributed. The USA Peacock is the thing. Peacock is NBC. It works since streaming platform, and they can't move the WWE Network. All the WWE to Peacock itself. So Peacock became the platform for the WWE Network, for the USA viewers. So for the American viewers, so yeah. And people gotta say more stuff to it and discuss it. That Nick Khan's involvement, Paul Levesque, Triple H himself, changed the creative sellers. And now at this point, this might be, we call it the Renaissance era, right? So, welcome everybody to the Renaissance era of professional wrestling here at Wrestling First Podcast. We are actually, the catalyst has risen, and the formation has laid down, and the Renaissance era has actually begun. Like fully, it is the Renaissance era. And on the tail than that, it's crazy to say, is the American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes is Stardust. He is on the top of the professional wrestling industry. Yeah, so it's weird sometimes to see him as WWE champion, if I have to say, but let's just get into the URL. So WrestleMania ended off fantastic. Probably the greatest WrestleMania match balls. Already discussed about this in Avengers Endgame finale on episode. For sure. Perfect. Nothing to say. Absolutely perfect. WrestleMania have an ending like that. That itself is pretty awesome. Oh, pretty cool, isn't it? But other than that, we're discussing what's the duo came up with. So the new era to me in pro wrestling is white, charming, but not like charming. Yet white can be interesting for wrestling. We're out here discussing. We are. Sorry if the. I'm Kate. Somebody. I'm not good. Alright. Yes, let's get into this. So man, what a time! Raw after Mania, fantastic. Cody Rhodes, Triple H, all of that. Acknowledging Cody as the guy. He is the face of the company now. He is this guy, and the fall of the moment, stuff in Mania, and the Mania whatever. Right after Raw after Mania, felt like a new phase professional wrestling client. Felt like a different thing. Cool call-ups to the Dragunovs. And a lot of cool stuff happened on the Raw after Mania, man. It was a really good Raw after Mania by me. Not a really good one. I'm not seeing it. Even in Vince's time, there always been a good Raw after Mania. They always book it right. But, man, this was a good Mania. Jay and so all these talent, Ricochet, Jay, Bronson, Lee, and Drew McIntyre, all these guys. Obviously, Drew McIntyre's been a superstar of all of it, and Jay was also believed that we're about to retire. So, after Jared Drew, so with Bronson and Ricochet, phenomenal. Triple H is really pushing them and making them feel like the stars there. We are not in the time. We are in the time them in the Attitude Era, but then we had a lot of wrestling stars. Even the Lucha Aggression are at a point before John Cena started, when John Cena became that guy and Batista were the two head-to-head. I think we had our guys, okay? And we for a while didn't have those guys as top stars. We didn't have a lot of stars. Now we have all of the stars. We have Sami Zayn, we have James, so we have LA Knight, AJ Styles. 2 stars. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. There are just too many stars currently that you have. Too many of them. And it's a fun time, man. And Jey Uso and the CM Punk to Drew McIntyre debacle just kept on getting great, man. Absolutely fantastic. What happened to Mania? Both said Andy was going crazy, but fucking boy looking more back at it, but that debacle just kept on going more and more. And CM Punk and Drew McIntyre's street is gonna be heated. Really, we're out the lot, bro. Yeah, well, but heated. Jey Uso. So when he's gonna feud with David Priest, we gotta start a new era on. And then SmackDown bit, which I didn't expect something right on SmackDown. Cody goes out, cuts a promo. We get a new face of what's gonna happen. SmackDown, but we get, I think, we get all the Santos Escamars can be put a chance to, qualify for the WWE change. Kick face, quote. It's a cool thing. This is Santos Escobar has been able to see that. It's crazy to happen. So yeah. AJ Styles, LA Knight, they both won the matches respectfully, and both of them go on to face each other, and then AJ Styles, wins or something, but we're not going to do that. And we have a great time to discuss pro wrestling, man. AJ Styles, obviously, has a blank slate release. Truly fantastic. Combo, phenomenal stuff. Worldline stuff, which I thought was ending, and I'm not quite keen on the women's stuff yet. I'm trying to get into more after WrestleMania. I don't know what he's injured, so I'm trying to get into that stuff. Bailey, I'm trying to get into it, but it's gonna see a while. the Bloodline stuff, he allowed it. Kevin Owens, over the second week, is bleeding already. Tama Tonga debut, and they beat the piss out of Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman's gear, called Rover Vince, Solo sitting down the fucking with cheap clown here. Storytelling, man, is fantastic. Solo Sikoa all of a sudden is one of my favorite characters in the WWE. It's crazy. It's crazy how we hated this man, and how we said this guy, he has no charisma, and we hated him, you know. Because he kept on spiking everybody. I don't know, we're just people treating the fucking foot, and like, you know, people hated him. And now look at the evolution of his character, and he's the best Tinkle. He's one of the best characters in WWE currently. So good. Tama Tonga reading some fantastic work. If you don't know, Tama Tonga is from New Japan, wrecking his horse in Japan, you know, into the full club and stuff. And yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What new era was starting in the WWE and Tremble. I'm gonna end it off to talk about my problem here with pro wrestling. So I here to say I love the fans. They're passion, their loves. But with WWE fans is that they will introduce you something like, okay, you're watching this? Yeah, I'll tell you all about it. You know, let's just get into it. Let's get into it. But AEW fans are the fans is like, if, for example, a person, a lot of people who don't know, you know, for example, who is Kenny Omega. You don't know who Kenny Omega is? What kind of you're not even a fan of pro wrestling. Like, come on, I don't know who Kenny Omega is. I love professional wrestling. I don't know what Kenny Omega is. Like, come on. And you're like, they take to us that, and they kind of say that, you know, you're just this, and they berate you. And that's my fucking problem. Like, I actually hate AEW fans. These diehard AEW fans. I hate them. These marks WWE fans, they are at least like open. AEW fans are not open. They don't tell you stuff. You have to figure it out yourself. And I don't know what the fuck is going on. And there's a lot of times, like, I would say, and a half or whatever, but like, that's how their fans are, and I think it's stupid. And the lead of the charge of all is there's fucking Marks, Tony Khan, the boss of AEW, the head of the company, is going on at news outlets and obviously going on national television and putting out footage like CM Punk and Perry, and, you know, putting on stuff like, and calling it the Harvard wrestling of professional wrestling. Like, to me, you're fucking stupid. Like, what are you to it? What are you trying to prove? There's not evil each other now. They're not the evil each other. They've never been, and you can't stop telling me that they can't. We got more stuff. More topics here. TNA, in my opinion, I enjoy TNA more than WWE. In the TNA, with the debut of Matt Hardy, brings more interest to me to watch more TNA than AEW. Matt Hardy doing AEW was a great decision for him. I'm late to force him to do TNA. Exciting stuff for pro wrestling, man. AEW, on the other hand, they have some exciting stuff. Let us get into this one. AEW recently had again, you know, possibly the greatest wrestling match of all time in the history of pro wrestling. This is the best match that people are saying that this is the best match they've ever seen. I would not counter your argument. I would if you say this is the best match I've ever seen, you might be right, because there's no doubt about this, man. This was the best match I ever saw. People can go all about Taker and Michael, all about Shawn and Kurt, but man, this match, I'm sure Meltzer didn't give this like 8 stars or something. Quite shocked about that. Dude, this is the best thing AEW can do. And this is what has really given me positive to me. Like, they put up this match. What they need to do is put up the best wrestling. They need to shut up, and then Khan needs to shut up and put up the best wrestling. You have Arn Anderson, you have Tony Schiavone there. Like, what are you doing? I'm gonna talk about this, but this pisses me off. You have Tony Schiavone in your show. The guy who has been in the part of your favorite wrestling show at that time, WCW tournament. Why don't you listen to a guy who has learned from mistakes, who knows things like this? And why don't you listen? And why don't you listen? And why don't let him be a big guy? Let him be kind of a chart. Why don't you let him be the head of creative? Why don't you let him be the guy who should be running the show? You should be there, like you shouldn't be. You should be. Tony Schiavone should be sitting with you in Gorilla in AEW. You know, he should be sitting with you in Gorilla or something. You know, whatever. And backstage, and you guys are. You guys should be in Gorilla together. You and Schiavone, and I think but it's not that case. It looks like it's Tony Khan of his own self, taking what he wants to do, and he wants to show the best match. I don't give a fuck if you got other best wrestling matches. You can do that. That's a great thing, but yeah, you're supposed to have a really packed crowd, and they packed up that crowd at Dynasty, man. That crowd was packed up. I was like, this is so cool. This is great. This is what we wanted from AEW. They packed at Dynasty. And another problem there to be discussed. I'm just gonna discuss it for a little bit. Swerve Strickland management. Double or Nothing could have been his catalyst to being the guy. They rushed it. Swerve Strickland, and I saw Dynamite. He didn't feel like that guy. Samoa Joe, he feels like the champion of AEW. Swerve Strickland, Tony's trying to make you feel like that. He just isn't working. He isn't. It's because he doesn't have enough fans behind it. He doesn't have more will and more power. He doesn't have. You just gave us something that wasn't seasoned well, and I don't tend to like the. I like my full season, man. I like to have a good seasoned, a good seasoned. For example, there's a lot of good seasoned stuff I like to eat. If my favorite food ain't seasoned, it's my favorite thing in AEW. Like, one of my favorite stuff in AEW, it's not seasoned well. And that's, for example, food I'm saying. I'm gonna shit on it, because I like it seasoned. I like my food. And there's no spice into it, man. Like, there was no spice added in a few. There was no a proper build-up. It was just too kind of fast-paced and kind of hurt it, and Swerve didn't feel like the guy on AEW at all. He didn't. And he didn't feel the guy on Dynasty to me, because watching live again, Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay felt like the end of pro wrestling or something. It's like this is the end of, whatever. This is the ending or whatever. This is the clash of these two titans, and you never suited the other like this. Swerve to me again, man. It's perfect to say if he is the guy, but is he really the guy? I better say, this is what I think, man. I might be wrong here. I might be the minority, but Swerve Strickland to me is not quite the guy that I think he is, I believe he's not that god. I just think he's not that. I might be wrong here. I might be shitting and be like, oh, you're fucking wrong. Oh, you're wrong, and he is I might be the guy who, like, he Swerve Strickland is that guy. I remember the damn thing is up to. That's all it is. I think people, the Alien fans are gonna hate me for this, but this is my opinion. I think it's just problems with it, and hopefully AEW fix it off. Man, I'm getting any time for pro wrestling. Fans, stick tied. Pro professional muscle man. Yeah. Crazy time for professionals. All right. This has been a great Wrestling History podcast. Soon, this is the new Arkham Wrestling, and for new changes, we're gonna soon be doing an email where you can email it out at an email we're gonna be posting down below, and for this episode, and you can email over there and ask questions when I answer them.